Hawaiian Islands, although they are 2,000 miles away from our western seacoast, occupy an important place in American life. These tropical islands, because of their climate, furnish us a large part of two of our important foods. One of these foods is sugar. The other is pineapple. Hawaii has no commercial minerals, such as iron, coal, or oil, and there's little manufacturing of goods. So Hawaii has to depend upon agriculture for the chief support of the 500,000 people who live there. Sugarcane was growing wild in Hawaii when Captain Cook discovered the islands in 1778. Later, a few people grew it as a crop. The first machinery was crude, like these handmade stone grinding wheels. The first commercial sugar plantation was started at this place over 100 years ago. Today, growing sugarcane is the leading industry of the islands and provides a large share of Hawaii's income. Sugarcane is grown by planting short pieces of stalk. New growth starts from the small buds. Planting is done by a huge machine which places the stalks in the ground. The planting machine drops fertilizer at the same time. Sugarcane plants take up a huge quantity of water. In some areas there is heavy rainfall and plenty of water most of the year. But where the rainfall is light, the cane fields are irrigated by means of a network of ditches. Flumes bring water from streams or from the main ditches into the fields. It takes as much water as a person drinks in a year to grow 1 pound of sugar. Keeping weeds out is very important. This is done mainly by using chemicals spread from tanks on tractors, or from airplanes, or by men who go into the fields with spray tanks on their backs. Sugarcane in Hawaii grows from a year and a year and a half to 2 years before it is ready to harvest. The canes grow in a thick mass called a stool. When ripe, the stalks are full of a juicy substance from which sugar is obtained. At this time, the cane stalks average about 14 feet in length. Before harvest, fires are started in the fields to burn off most of the leaves. This makes it easier to cut and gather the stalks. The fire does not harm the sugar substance inside the stalk. Sugarcane is gathered in a number of ways. On steep hillsides, the stalks are raked out of the ground and downhill where they'll be loaded into trucks. Some cane is brought down from the high fields in water flumes. In other places, a tractor is used to push the stalks into piles for loading. Where this method is employed, a big crane lifts the piles of heavy cane to trucks or to small railway cars. Elsewhere, large harvesting machines are used to cut off the stalks and pile them up. This method leaves most of the roots in the ground and does not disturb the valuable topsoil. Some cane goes to the mill by train, but most of it is hauled in by large trucks. It is unloaded at the mill by other heavy machinery. The cane stalks are washed on the way into the mill. Powerful machinery is used to crush out the juice. The juice is boiled down in large tanks and turned into crystals of raw sugar. Later processing will make it ready to eat. Hawaiian mills turn out a good share of the sugar we use. Pineapples are the next most important crop in Hawaii. The pineapple fields are seen on 5 of the Hawaiian Islands. An unusual feature of growing pineapples is the manner in which the fields are planted. First, a machine lays strips of heavy paper in the field rows. The paper aids in holding moisture in the topsoil. Slips from older plants are harvested and then distributed over the fields. Then the slips are planted through the paper in even spacings. During the time that the plants are maturing, the use of chemical sprays is important. Part of the spraying is to keep weeds out. Spraying is also done to distribute plant food in liquid form. The liquid is taken in by the plants through the leaves. While the fruit is forming, the plants put out new growth, which will bear a second crop the following year. The ripe crop has to be gathered as quickly as possible in order to rush it to the canneries, where most of it will be canned as sliced pineapple or pineapple juice. Some is brought to the canneries from other islands in boats. Some comes in by trucks from fields nearby. To get sugar and pineapple to market requires a fleet of ships back and forth to the United States, 2,000 miles away. Some of the pineapple crop is sent to market as fresh, whole fruit in refrigerated ships. But most of the pineapple goes aboard in packing cases filled with cans of sliced fruit or juice. Some of the sugar is sent out in bags. These are loaded from the dock by slings. At one of the sugar ports, it is necessary for ships to anchor offshore, and here the bags are taken out to the ship in small boats. But at other ports, the sugar is brought from the mills to large warehouses in loose form by trucks. It is moved from the warehouse on a long conveyor belt to the deck of the ship and poured into the hold, which will be filled with raw sugar. Thus, sugar goes to the Pacific coast, where further processing will change it into completely purified sugar, ready to eat. The same ships that carry these to our shores, on their return, take back the things which Hawaii has to have. Nearly all the food, clothing, lumber, machinery, steel, oil, and household goods used in Hawaii are brought from mainland United States. Thus, shipping back and forth has been called the lifeline of Hawaii, because without it, the island people could not get along. So we see how the products of Hawaii's agriculture furnish much of the living and make Hawaii's communities prosperous and up to date.